Welcome everyone to a summer edition of the Arts Academy podcast. So today we just wanted to take a few minutes. Hopefully everybody's enjoying your summer. Take a few minutes to go over a few quick scheduling update, and then really to explain what's going on with the summer math assignments and the summer homework that's going to be due come the fall. Mr. Ricciardi, you want to start off with a little scheduling update?
Yes, sir. So scheduling is moving along, working out some of the kinks in the schedule in terms of teachers' availability, what electives we can offer, which ones we maybe can't. I think we really did a very good job as a community to make sure that a lot of the kids get into the AP classes this year, probably more than ever before. With some of the availability that we have with teachers, but that also limits some of the other electives. So with that being said, we're still working through some of that stuff. I would say that we'll have the nuts and bolts of the schedule probably done within the next 2 weeks. And then again, we'll probably release the schedule. My guess would probably be like the beginning of August. That's probably the best guess I can give right now. A lot of students have been emailing and asking. If there's anybody that, and we're going to send, this is the Arts Academy podcast, Mr. Gongora and I do this probably once or twice a month during the school year. You know, we try to get as much information out as possible, but we're going to send this one to everybody in the building. So you can reach out to your guidance counselor or your supervisor if there's anything that you're concerned about in terms of AP classes, maybe an elective that you wish you would have ranked differently. Now's the time to kind of speak up if you're second guessing yourself, and let us know what you want before we actually run the schedule and everything's put down in writing. Because once that stuff is there, we can't move pieces. We can move you from a class to a different class, but we can't move, we don't want to put you in a position where you can't get a class because you didn't speak up now. So it's easier to make some of those changes now if it's just a course. But that's really where we're at with scheduling.
All right, and then we'll jump right into probably the main focus of why we wanted to do this podcast today was to talk about our summer enrichment, which is a math assignment and an English assignment that everyone has to get done by the fall. And again, the reason for this was to just make sure you guys are all up to where we want you to be, especially in math. After the year that we just had, where everybody was remote, they were hybrid, they were back and forth from the building a little bit. All the classes were shorter. So we feel like there was definitely a need for this. And we've been talking about this for the last few years, that we spend so much time in the beginning of the year reviewing all of our math courses from the previous year. It would be nice to have everybody have a way to track everybody to make sure they know what's going on before they get to their math class in the fall. So, this is something that's been planned for a few years, but we finally got it off the ground this year. So if you are a 9th or 10th grader, and this is now rising, right? So technically on July 1st, you guys all moved up to the next grade. So if you didn't know that, congratulations. You're now sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and our incoming students are the freshmen. So if you are a 9th grade student coming into the building, or if you were a freshman last year who is now a sophomore, you report to Mr. Ricciardi for the summer, for your Google Classroom for the summer. And every now rising junior and rising senior will report to me. So that means that check your, if you haven't logged into your school account for the summer yet, there's an invite waiting for you to go into your Google Classroom, either with Mr. Ricciardi or with me. So make sure to accept that. So log into your Google Classroom page. You'll see it right there. Accept it. It says Math Summer Homework. So log into that classroom so you can get the instructions of what you need to do. You want to go for the Classworks overview first, and then I'll take everybody through a walkthrough of the Alex assignment.
Yeah, and I think it's important just to kind of reinforce some of the things that you just said. You have to check your HCST emails. Students, that's the way that we're going to contact you. Even some of the scheduling issues that we've come up with, I've emailed a handful of students, 8 or 10 students at a time, and I only get 4 or 5 responses. So please check your email. Sometimes we'll even contact the parent because the student isn't responding back to us. I also field emails from students and from parents. And for us, it doesn't really matter who's asking the question. We're just trying to get you the best information we can as it becomes available. There was a little bit of a delay in the username and password setup for Classworks. All the incoming freshmen have to be put into our system. So they have to be given an HCST username and password, the login credentials. That same login credential allows you to log into Classworks using the Google login. So you're using the same login. A lot of our students have already done that, a lot of our incoming freshmen. And if you're an Explore student, you're still in our district, so you're using the same account. Okay, I can see all the stuff you did at Explore. It got transferred over to us. So what you're looking to do is you're looking to go into Classworks. The first thing you want to do is the universal screener. This is for all 9th graders now, right? Mr. Gongora just said you're all 9th graders. When you take that universal screener, you want to do the best that you can so that it will basically prescribe you a group of lessons that you're ready to learn. Okay? If you don't do so well on it, that's fine. We don't mind that. All right? But it's going to give you the topics that you're ready to learn. And it also shows you where you are in a school now, an incoming class of 275 students. Okay? We have some students now that have already completed 10, 12 skills. Okay, the summer assignment is to complete 50 skills. We have some students that have already completed 10 or 12. I was looking at some of the students' work before. Okay, we're looking for you to get a score of 80% or better on those skills. And the one thing, some students reached out to me and said, well, I only got one pretest and then it moved me on to the next skill. If you score well enough on the pretest, if you score 80% or better on the pretest, they don't bring you through that skill anymore. They give you credit for that skill. Okay. So the better you do on everything, the better it is for you and the less work you have to do. Okay. Do the best you can. Reach out to me if you have any issues with anything. If you happen to run out of skills, also reach out to me because I can generate more skills. And I may even ask you to do another universal screener because the screener is what generates the skills. Okay. Just Gongora, based on our conversations, did I forget anything?
I don't think so. And remember that that is for Classworks. So all 9th graders are going to be doing Classworks, whereas the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, that's the next thing we're going to talk about with the Alex.
Yeah, and I would say the only other thing is just make sure you're using your HCST emails. Make sure you're checking them. And when you log in and send emails to us, it helps us if you use the HCST email so we can identify who you are. Some of your email addresses are not identifiable. Unless you actually sign it with your name at the end, we can't tell who you are. Okay, so it makes it a little awkward for a few minutes trying to figure out what student is, and if there's nothing that identifies you, we just don't know who you are with some of the email addresses that you guys have. So please try to use your HCST email. It allows us to know exactly who you are and moving forward. But
yeah, and also to get into Classworks, to use that sign in with Google link, you have to actually be signed into Chrome on your HCST email. So, that's something you should have set up at some point as you're gonna be using it for the next 4 years anyway. So, might as well put it on your phone, put it on your computer. Yeah,
we are a Google school. We use the Google Suite. So,
all right. So I think we can get into Alex now. So basically, if you were a rising 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, if you were with us in this last year, your summer homework is to complete the Alex assignment. Okay. You are assigned to a specific course. It depends on the course you took the previous year. We're trying to get you guys ready for the next course you are taking. So some of the email questions that we have was, well, why am I in Algebra 1? I was in geometry last year. Well, yeah, we put you in Algebra 1 because we wanted to get you ready for Algebra 2. Okay. We put you in Algebra 2 to get ready for pre-calc. We put you in pre-calc to get ready for calculus. So you're in the Alex course of the class you just completed, unless that was geometry. And then we went back to Algebra 2 because we want to get you, or we went back to Algebra 1 because we want to get you ready for Algebra 2. Okay. So if it seems like you haven't done that stuff in a while, the point is to refresh your memory a little bit and get ready for the next course. With that, I have a couple of screenshots here. The first thing you want to do when you log into, and I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. The first thing you want to do when you log into Alex is just to start the knowledge check, right? It's going to be you have your username and password that's been emailed to you. Unfortunately, it is not your high-tech username and password. Okay, so it's not the HCST Online username and password. The Alex has its own username, its own password. It's emailed to you. It's in your email. So just go through, search for it if you have to. The first thing you're going to do is start the knowledge check. Okay. Once you do that, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. Okay. So you're going to get this pie that's going to show you the topics that you have already mastered. Based on the knowledge check that I did about half of, because I wanted to see how it works. I mastered 224 skills. If you look at that at the very top, the 225 in the middle is because I actually did one. I did the exercises for one. Okay. On the left-hand side, you're going to see your 2 goals. There's 2 separate goals that we are going to grade you on. And basically, whichever one you finish, that is going to be your grade for your summer math homework. The first goal is to complete 80% of it's called the pie progress, right? So 80% of this pie, 80% of the whole course. So if you do really well on your knowledge check and you only have a couple topics left that you have to do to complete 80% of the course, then you're done with the summer math homework. The next goal is the topic goal. So if you score maybe like a 30 or a 40% on the initial knowledge check, then instead of making you complete the whole course, right, we're only asking that you complete 40 topics. Now, that doesn't mean that's all you can do, right? You can do as much as you want. This is a great way to just be sure you're ready for next year, to prep for, if you're going to be a senior, this is good prep for the SAT, along with something like Khan Academy, right? This is just ways to improve your math skills, just another way to practice. So either one of those 2 goals, if you complete them, you will get 100% for your math homework assignment, which will be the first grade of the course that you are taking next year. So if you're in Algebra 2 next year, this class right here says Junior Algebra 2. So this student would be in pre-calc next year. So their first grade of pre-calc, which is going to be 20% of your quarter 1 grade, your first grade in pre-calc would be whatever you got on this score. Okay. So if you look at the little menu in the top, the little hamburger menu, the 3-bar menu up top, if you click on that, you can get to the grade book, which is going to look something like this. It just tells you how far your goals you've gotten to your goal. So based on my knowledge check, I am 54% of the way to completing 80% of the course, if that makes sense. So this number right here would be the grade that went into Power School. The topic goal is I've done 1 topic or 2 topics. If you look at the top, I've done 1 or 2 topics, which would be 3% of my goal to get to 40. So you're just looking for one of those to be 100. Whichever one's higher, that's the grade that we're going to take for your fall grade. After you do a topic, you can see how many you have left, right? So you have I did 1 topic, so I have 197 left to get to 80%, or I have 39 left to get to 40 total topics. Again, don't feel like you have to stop. This will help you next year. It'll help you get ready. So feel free to do as much as you want. We have this program until September, so it's not going to run out at you, and you can do as much as you think you want to. I think that was it. When you get to the end, it'll tell you, right? So it'll say you've reached your 80% progress goal. So that means that I would, in my grade book, then see that I had 100% for that goal, if that makes sense. So my grade finishing 80% of the course gives me a full credit for my homework assignment. And that was it. So hopefully that answers any of the confusion that some of you guys might have had about what you're expected to do in ALEKS. How do you see where you're at right now, right in the grade book right there? You can check that out. If you started this the last couple of weeks, I will adjust your grade book to be reflective of anything that you've done prior to yesterday, since that's when I set that up. So if it looks like something's a little off, I can fix that at the end. But any questions that anybody has, just email myself. You can email Mr. Ricciardi as well. We will be around all summer to answer your questions. Most people's questions that I've got have been, am I done? Did I do enough? And now that I've set up those two metrics for you to look at, you can kind of tell you need one of them to get to 100%. If you're not able to finish, right, that's that's the grade that you're going to get in the fall. So you definitely want to finish this. I really don't think we're asking too much, and it will definitely help your grades in the fall. So,
yeah, and again, Mr. Gongora, I think the student should understand what we've planned on you completing this summer was about 10 hours of math work. About 5 weeks of the course, 2 hours per week. So in total, it's about 10 hours of math work. I have some students already that have completed their summer assignment and have done it in 5.5 hours, 7.5 hours. One student was like 12.5 hours. Okay. And again, I don't know if they've continually worked. They could have walked away from the computer and maybe had timed them out a few times or something. But the whole idea is we're trying to get you to do at least 10 hours of math work over the summer. As Mr. Gongora just said, once you're done, you don't have to stop. You can keep going. This program is going to be available to you until I think we have it to the middle or late September. So you could technically be working on this program until then. So let's just say you're a pre-cal student who would like to go back, even though you finished everything in pre-cal, but you want to review some geometry topics. Talk to Mr. Gongora, ask him, can you put me in a geometry class? We can create as many classes as needed. We can open up a geometry class for you. Mr. Gongora can, since, if you're doing pre-cal, you're probably going to be, going into your junior or senior year. And he'll put you back in a pre-cal class. If you're working on SAT and you see that you have a deficiency in statistics on the SAT, let us know and we can put you in a statistics course and you can work on statistics here. So even though you've finished what you've already done, this is going to be available for you until September. Okay, in my sophomore class, I probably have 9 students that are already done based on their test score or their skill work, already done within the first 2 days. And again, they started a little bit before just because the username and passwords were out a little bit earlier. The other thing, and then I'll throw it back to Mr. Gongora, is about Classworks. Any incoming freshmen, you're going to be working on Classworks all year. So this is the summer assignment. So you're going to complete your 50 skills for the summer, 80% or better, but then you're going to have a Title I math class in your schedule and a Title I English class, and you're going to be working on Classworks the entire school year. Okay, until the end when we get into consumer ec and some other things. But, test prep is very important. We're trying to make sure that you guys are prepared. We're also trying to make sure that if there was any learning loss over the summer or things that weren't covered because of the online learning, that they're covered now. All right, so Mr. Gongora, I'll leave it to you to sign us off.
Yeah, the only thing they'll add to that is that, if you do finish your first course, right, if you finish your Algebra 2 ALEKS course and you move to a new one, right, you've already satisfied what we want you to do for your summer math homework. So the rest is just for you. So don't feel like, oh, you need to get back up to 80% again. But I do think that one big thing that we do miss out on, especially last year, is we don't really ever cover much statistics, right? Because that's at the end of Algebra 1, it's at the end of Algebra 2, it's at the end of geometry. And sometimes those are just topics that we don't have time to get to. So, if you finish your Algebra 1 and you're interested and you want to do a little ALEKS statistics course, we can set that up for you. Just email me and I can move you over to that. And we'll mark down that you got full credit for your Algebra 1 assignment. And again, this does go into your grade in the fall. So, again, A lot of people have not signed in to the Google Classroom, so make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're logging in to Alex to take that initial knowledge check. I think Mr. Ricciardi already put some suggested due dates up in his Google Classroom. I'm going to do the same thing. Again, these are sort of goals for you to get to, sort of like a nice pacing guide, to sort of be like, oh, it's the beginning of August. I should have about 32 done. Do I have that, or do I need to, put in a couple extra hours this week? So you can use that as a pacing guide. Again, the due dates, you don't have to stress over them. They're not firm. The firm due date is that we need this done by the time we're back in school. So that is, don't wait till Labor Day weekend to do this whole thing. That's not how you want to spend the end of the summer. So it is designed to just do a little bit at a time and not save it till Tuesday morning when school starts Wednesday. But
there are plenty of rainy days in the summer where you may just want to stay in and do your math homework and do your English reading.
Or extremely, extremely hot. So that's it. We'll be back maybe in a couple weeks with an update. Just keep a lookout. Hopefully your schedules can come out in a couple weeks. Like we said, get started on your math homework. The English assignment is up on. We'll put a link to the summer homework webpage. So your English assignment is up on that as well. That's a little less involved. And so you can read just what you're expected to do based on what grade you are going to be in the fall. And that is all for us today. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.